Hi, I'm Simon Squibb, and you're watching a special edition of Pep Talk, made in partnership with HP. Together, we want to give entrepreneurs the platform to share their stories so we can empower the next generation of businessmen and women. HP is all about reinvention, and in the past year, we've had to pivot our ways of working, with many of us shifting to remote work. Now more than ever, we need high-performance technology which allows entrepreneurs and employees to work at their best to keep the company cogs turning. In this series, we'll interview a number of leading experts who share their insights into running a successful business and how they continue to innovate in today's world. Today, I have healthcare entrepreneur Ali Parsa joining us. He is the founder of Babylon and Circle. Ali, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for taking time out.
It's wonderful to see you. Thank you for having me.
Well, do you mind starting off by just telling our audience a little bit about who you are and what you're doing?
Babylon has a mission to see whether we can do with healthcare what Google did with information. Can we make it accessible, affordable, and put it in the hands of every human being on Earth? We are at the very early stage. We only serve about 20-25 million people today out of a planet of 7 billion. So I see it that as if we are on day one.
Well, it's an impressive amount of people that you're supporting for your platform. So as you expand into the US, do you think that the tech-enabled platform that you have is what allows you to be so scalable, or is it still a very much a people transaction to move into big markets like the US?
No, 100%. I give you an example. When we started delivering GP services in United Kingdom, that is basically primary care, we acquired a single GP practice with 2,500 members in it. In a space of 2 years, we almost grew that practice by over 30 times, 30-fold, right? If we had to do that by just building clinics and then recruiting doctors into those clinics and then waiting for those clinics to fill up and then going to the next one, that would have taken years. But because we had a highly scalable technology platform that almost anyone from London could have joined it, and that is only possible because you leverage technology and the scalability of technology and the efficiencies of technology that brings to you.
Are you personally a technology person? Is that where your brain goes, or do you consider yourself a business person, or are you both?
No, I am absolutely not a technology person. Our technologists quite rightly laugh when I try to make suggestions. I think it is wrong to think about technology as anything beyond a tool. My job is to convene and to make it possible for others to be their brilliant self.
The highlight you're making there to me is you don't really need to know technology. You need to know what your customer wants. Like, you know what your customers want, and then you'll talk to these brilliant people that know technology to try and make that happen, right? Is that a fair interpretation?
That's absolutely correct. That actually much of the technology you need is already available. If I look at our entire technology stack, and it's a very large stack, if you can imagine, everything from security to identifications to verification, everything that you need to do for regulation of healthcare, payments, you name it, we have to have it in that stack. We don't build everything in there. There's no point in us building, for instance, a payment engine that's already there. We all use technology. You and I are using technology today. We don't need to build this software. Now imagine if I wanted to now start a podcast business or anything, then I don't need to be an technologist. What I do need to be is to say, okay, where can I acquire a software like this in order to do what you and I are doing? Some of these are readily available on the shelf. I don't even need to build anything. This is a podcast being sponsored by HP, and they have many solutions to that. There are many technology companies who can help entrepreneurs and business people to get to the right answer. Just think of it as a tool. Don't think of it as an end.
Yeah, it's a mistake I see a lot of people who are trying to take their existing businesses and grow them and make. They think they need to build the technology themselves instead of trusting someone else to do it. I guess in your business, I find it fascinating. I could just imagine how many barriers to entry there are in your business. You mentioned one there, for example, security. I know that's got to be a high priority in your business. Are these the sorts of things that keep you up at night, or you know you've got it handled, you've got the box ticked, or is it a moving target?
No, it's a moving target. I mean, security is a very good point. There is an entire industry of people sitting in all corners of the world, constantly trying to break into other people's cyberspace, to steal, fundamentally to steal, to carry illegal activities from it. And unfortunately, the global laws have not been established, do not move as fast as technology does. So therefore it falls on companies themselves to protect themselves. So until we have better ability to prosecute and to find these people, security is always a huge challenge. It's one of the biggest problems every company has, and we all have to be very conscious of it. I mean, there's no point in pretending otherwise. So we have an excellent group of people who are constantly trying to stay on top of this.
It's one of those things that I think, again, a lot of people that might be listening think about scaling up a business, actually me included these days. I have a database myself, and I'm permanently nervous that that's going to get stolen and I'm going to accidentally release the information of people privately, and it keeps me up at night. And I think security is such an important thing. I was really interested to hear your view on remote working and how the last year has affected your business in that regard.
You and I, in a different world, only 18 months ago, would have made sure that we meet in person. I would have used a lot of carbon to get to you. We would have collected in the same place, so on and so forth, right? And I would have spent significantly more time because all my commute time would have been added, and so with you too. Today we are doing this in a very different way, in a much more efficient way. So I think that everybody, and it doesn't really matter what business you're in, everybody needs to look at the experience of the last year and say, what was it that I thought cannot be done that I actually can do? So I think this is an opportunity for all of us to embrace, and I think they will emerge out of this pandemic a stronger business. I'm not saying that's possible for everybody, but I'm saying there is an example of that almost in every sector. Those who didn't sit back and said, oh my gosh, everything's gone wrong, but said, actually, this is the current reality, how do I adapt, ended up doing very well. And that's a lesson for all of us. It's never too late. If we miss that, it doesn't matter. Even if you're a restaurant that kind of missed it all, lost a lot of money, and now just about to reopen, it doesn't matter. Learn from those people. You could do everything they did and come back again.
I think it's a very inspirational message and point, Ali, and I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the other thing I think I've seen is people having time to self-reflect, and more businesses start up in a crisis than any other time. Right now, there's more people starting businesses than ever because of need and also opportunity, right? It's never been easier to set up a business than it is right now, thanks to technology. So, it's a very inspirational point, and I appreciate you sharing it with the audience. Ali, wise words as always. I could talk to you forever and ever. Your wisdom and knowledge and experience is just like no one else I ever interview. I really, really love it. Thank you so much for taking time out, Ali, of your busy day to share your knowledge with me and the audience. And on behalf of myself and the audience, thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you so much for having me. It really is appreciated.
Thank you for listening to the special edition of Pep Talk, made in partnership with HP. Together, we want to give entrepreneurs the platform to share their stories so we can empower the next generation of businessmen and women. You can catch all of our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.